USS Constitution, also known as Old Ironsides, is a three-masted wooden-hulled heavy frigate of the United States Navy. She is the world's oldest commissioned naval warship still afloat. She was launched in 1797, one of 6 original frigates authorized for construction by the Naval Act of 1794, and the third constructed. The name Constitution was among 10 names submitted to President George Washington by Secretary of War Timothy Pickering in March of 1795 for the frigates that were to be constructed. Joshua Humphreys designed the frigates to be the young Navy's capital ships, and so Constitution and her sister ships were larger and more heavily armed and built than standard frigates of the period. She was built at Edmund Hart's shipyard in the north end of Boston, Massachusetts. Her first duties were to provide protection for American merchant shipping during the quasi-war with France and to defeat the Barbary pirates in the First Barbary War. Constitution is most noted for her actions during the War of 1812 against the United Kingdom, when she captured numerous merchant ships and defeated 5 British warships: HMS Guerriere, Java, Pictou, Cyane, and Levant. The battle with Guerriere earned her the nickname Old Ironsides and public adoration that has repeatedly saved her from scrapping. She continued to serve as flagship in the Mediterranean and African squadrons, and she circled the world in the 1840s. During the American Civil War, she served as a training ship for the United States Naval Academy. She carried American artwork and industrial displays to the Paris Exposition of 1878. Constitution was retired from active service in 1881 and served as a receiving ship until being designated a museum ship in 1907. In 1934, she completed a 3-year, 90-port tour of the nation. She sailed under her own power for her 200th birthday in 1997 and again in August 2012 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of her victory over Guerriere. Constitution's stated mission today is to promote understanding of the Navy's role in war and peace through educational outreach, historical demonstration, and active participation in public events as part of the Naval History and Heritage Command. As she is a fully commissioned Navy ship, her crew of 75 officers and sailors participate in ceremonies, educational programs, and special events, while keeping her open to visitors year-round and providing free tours. The officers and crew are all active duty Navy personnel, and the assignment is considered to be special duty. She is usually berthed at Pier, one of the former Charlestown Navy Yard at one end of Boston's Freedom Trail. As early as 1991, Commander David Cashman had suggested that Constitution should sail to celebrate her 200th anniversary in 1997 rather than being towed. The proposal was approved, though it was thought to be a large undertaking since she had not sailed in over 100 years. When she emerged from dry dock in 1995, a more serious effort began to prepare her for sail. As in the 1920s, education programs aimed at school children helped collect pennies to purchase the sails to make the voyage possible. Her 6-sail battle configuration consisted of jibs, topsails, and driver. Commander Mike Beck began training the crew for the historic sail, using an 1819 Navy sailing manual and several months of practice, including time spent aboard the Coast Guard Cutter Eagle. On the 20th of July, Constitution was towed from her usual berth in Boston to an overnight mooring in Marblehead, Massachusetts. En route, she made her first sail in 116 years, at a recorded 6 knots, 11 kilometers per h, 6.9 miles per hour. Constitution is berthed at Pier 1 of the former Charlestown Navy Yard at the terminus of Boston's Freedom Trail. She is open to the public year-round. The privately run USS Constitution Museum is nearby, located in a restored shipyard building at the foot of Pier 2. Constitution typically makes at least 1 turnaround cruise each year, during which she is towed into Boston Harbor to perform underway demonstrations, including a gun drill. She then returns to her dock in the opposite direction to ensure that she weathers evenly. The turnaround cruise is open to the general public based on a lottery draw of interested persons each year. The Naval History and Heritage Command Detachment Boston is responsible for planning and performing her maintenance, repair and restoration, keeping her as close as possible to her 1812 configuration. The detachment estimates that approximately 10–15% of the timber in Constitution contains original material installed during her initial construction period in the years 1795–1797. The Navy maintains Constitution Grove at Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Division near Bloomington, Indiana, to ensure a supply of mature white oak.